Great job, Emily. Matt, I really want to hear your topic. You're up next.
All right, so basically, this is one I've kind of always thought about. Someone who's watched a lot of sci-fi movies and stuff like that growing up, and things that have come slightly before me during my parents' generation. Flying cars have always interested me, and I'm like, all right, sure, one day we'll get it, but will it be our lifetime? That's like my point A, and then point B, should us as civilians get it? Because in my mind, this is where I think only the police, firefighters, and rescue paramedics should have flying cars. That's literally the ideal situation. You know how many times I've seen idiot pedestrians not understand that, I should probably get out of that road. That car is coming towards my direction to go save someone from having a cardiac arrest. But you know what? I really need to cross and buy a freaking smoothie right now. And so it's made me so angry. I think just get them a flying vehicle.
How many times have you seen this happen?
Listen, we go to a very smart college, but there are some very dumb people that attend here sometimes.
You're telling me.
No, I was gonna say you put so much thought into this thing.
I have.
Like, because I was very like sociological with it, but you're like, here are the rules. Like, here are the people who'd have them. Screw us as human beings or cockroaches. Like,
Matt only cares about flying cars. Either has to do with stupid pedestrians.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason he wants
but
it.
becoming like civil
Not for the
servants, they're fine.
advancements. Yeah, exactly.
God bless our troops.
Like, would it be cool to have a flying car one day if I'm wealthy enough to own it? Sure, but that means every other idiot out there could, and that it's like the same thing as like if you could push a button and give everyone superpowers, would you? No, because you're just gonna mess my world up. You're gonna inconvenience
DC
me.
Universe Online.
Oh God,
Makes it different. No, this is a great topic for me because I think that our generation is going to be the generation that gives up, like willingly gives up their agency over being able to drive. Like I think that as self-driving cars come happen. I know enough people who hate driving who are like, I know people who don't have their licenses. You know, it's not just because we're a college generation of people back home who are like Ubering everywhere, because actually I have Ubering everywhere, because it's like they don't need to, because we have other people who want to do it, and they're like, I'll gladly have a robot do it. You know, I'll gladly whatever. Obviously, insurance companies are going to be weirded out by this because it's like who pays for accidents and stuff like that, whatever. But I think we're not going to be the flying car generation. We're going to be the generation that goes like just like we're not the generation that's going to go to like to space with SpaceX. Our generation is the one that goes, wow, that's so cool. The rockets are taking off and landing back down again. While our kids are even the one that goes like, hey, Dad, in college today, I'm designing the plans to get us to Mars, right? Like we're opening up the space. Like we're that in between generation, and I think that's why like. Low key, I think we all realize that. Like, we're on the verge of, oh, cool, we got the iPhone. You know, and just like our parents were kind of like the weird in between generation between like the great post-war generation and like the, you know, the millennials. It's like we're kind of that. We're at the precipice of technology. Yeah. Like, we know flying cars will happen. But by the time they happen, we'll all be way into our, like, adult lives and we'll be in there.
Thank God.
But the great innovation for us is going to be... True. Yeah, I'll own electric. Like just like all cars within 10 years got like computer chips, right? There's a great scene in Fate of the Furious where Charlize Theron hacks all the cars. She hacks every car in the city because they're all computer chips, and she's able to auto drive them. And just like this, all cars are going to start being self-driving. Like the Tesla has it, right? Yeah. And then pretty soon, like cars auto park now. Cars have auto stopping, so if there's a collision detection, whatever. So there's one little gap between that and hey, drive for me.
No, it's actually very interesting because when I went to San Francisco and I visited my girlfriend, we were getting an Uber downtown, and we got picked up by one of the first the self-driving Ubers. We got in.
Shut up.
There was like an engineer sitting there, but
they have to have someone operating it.
But dude, it was the trippiest, like most tense moment of my life because he was literally not like I was looking because I was sitting across diagonally from him, so I could see his feet and his feet weren't moving, and I was just like, what's going on? Like he didn't even have his feet on like the pedals at all. He just sitting down like perfectly.
That's fantastic.
Just chilling. Dude,
it's
crazy.
That's scary.
So seeing Matt and Emily's reaction, how do you guys feel about self-driving cars?
So the thing is, if I had the opportunity, it's like, hey, they just became a lot cheaper. The next car you buy, you can totally get it. I'd absolutely get it. But the thing is, I'd at least for the longest time, I'd still play by all my normal rules. Like the other day, our we're naming a lot of mutual friends today. I let our mutual friend Prachi actually drive my car for whatever reason. I know.
Does she have a license?
She does have a license, but at first it didn't
I feel like
seem
she shouldn't have a license.
I swear on my life, the first thing she said when she got in the car, we were coming back from home, she goes, okay, how do I turn this thing on? I swear on my life. And she said it with such intensity, I was like, yep, get out of the car. But she convinced me to actually let her drive. She did all right. But it was weird because I was sitting there the whole time. I wasn't even conversing with her, even though she was talking to me, because I was like cringed up, holding myself, and just like constantly, you know, like when you're in the passenger seat, your foot constantly wants to hit the brake.
Yeah.
It was me. And I'm like, how can I get in a self-driving car if I can't even like let my friend drive? Like, it's weird. I want it, but at the same time, there's like this other part of me that's like,
Albeit though, our friend kind of would suck at driving though. I'd feel more confident about a robot than Prachi.
you got a fair point. She is like itty
Shout out to
bitty. She's like
Prachi,
looking over like this. The steering wheel is like right at her eye line.
How about you, Emily?
I don't know, because on one hand, I really like driving.
Mm-hmm.
I've known to get quite a bit of road rage, which I like to relabel as Shrode rage.
Shrode.
It's cute and it's funny, so it's not a bad thing.
Self-labeled.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah. So, but also there are like times I was like driving to school like in the mornings, and I have like 2 tests, like one for anatomy and like one for like physics as well. So I have to like, so I'm like at every red light, I'm like on my Quizlet app, like learning like the insertion and the origin of like your capitis muscle, you know, just.
I don't, but
I don't know, but we'll go on with the story.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd be a lot more terrified of self-driving cars. I don't trust tech when it first comes out. Like, I never get the first thing when it comes out.
Right.
Like, you're like, oh yeah, the new scroll bar in the MacBook, and I'm like, that's gonna be trash. Like, maybe a couple iterations in, I'll love it, right? But like, I'm not gonna get that, right? So, Google Glass. I love the idea of AR. Not now. It's a one egg on a Bitcoin because it took me a little bit, but I got to know eventually. But I used to be in computer science. I used to go to all these like different computer science conventions at ASU, Arizona State University, and there was this showcase for self-driving technology, and it was showing like the code and how it works and how Google was showing. It was like because Google was a sponsor for that event, and they were bragging how they gave this blind old man a self-driving car, and how like he's like, I want to go to McDonald's, so he sits down in the car or whatever. He like taps his cane, gets inside of there, sits down, and clicks the button for the voice command, and goes, take me to McDonald's. And then the thing just, okay, and drives to McDonald's, and it's like stopping at traffic. A bike cuts in front of it, and the thing just stops right away, keeps going, whatever.
Awesome.
And then it's like, am I approaching the drive-thru, or am I going for a take-in? And he's like, drive-thru. So it goes to the drive-thru, and it knows to wait. And
how do you know that?
And the entire time on the site, Google's showing the code that like goes along with it. And literally, there's sensors all around the thing. There's like cameras on it, and it like color coordinates everything and puts that in as code. So like just like color editing software, whatever, like detects colors. It detects colors and detects shapes of things and recognizes that as object-oriented code and goes in. So it's like, oh, this is a drive-through now. We're gonna go at like 2 miles per hour, inch through. It's gonna like look for parameters. It's gonna stop at the voice control thing. It's gonna wait for him to keep talking. Then when he wants to go again, it'll start going. Like the thing knew it, and he's able to go through the drive-through, got his meal, and went home. And it was like, and like it shows his daughter, and she's crying like, I feel so bad because I live in a different town than my father. You know, he's got this, and I just putting him in a home takes away his independence, but blah blah blah. And it's like now he's able to go live his life still and go operate in society because his car is able to take him around and around his home.
That's a huge sense of liberation. That's
so
amazing.
I'm like, I was in tears, just like, yes, self-driving cars are the future, you know. And it's like, I don't know, because it's this weird sense of, I think people should always be able to take manual control of the vehicle, but at the same time, people are horrible drivers. Like, we have a mutual friend that, like, every time I've ridden with him, he's crashed the car. Like, he's like,
popped a tire.
He's popped a tire, done something, and
God.
I find
curb.
he has horrible anxiety, and it's like, our generation is like the peak generation of people with mental issues, you know? And should we really be behind like 80-mile-per-hour death machines, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and also, because again, it was a lot of personal anecdotes. When I was driving from Arizona to here to move for college, you know, it's like that 21-hour drive from Phoenix to Austin, and most of it's on the I-10, you know? So it's just like set thing to 85, put it on cruise control, and just chill. And just avoid semis, you know? And I realized, I'm like, it'd be so much more convenient instead of having to stop up at a motel because it's like 21 hours is just too long to do in one stretch, whatever. I can just set to auto drive, and just chill there, close my eyes for a bit, wake back up. It would have been a lot better and a lot more convenient if maybe even just have your car set so it can only activate on highways, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, but even that with like some of the Tesla things, it's like you still can't sleep. Like
Sure.
you still have to like touch the steering wheel
Every
ever
so
so
often,
often, yeah. And if it doesn't, like it starts slowing down, and if you still don't, like it's cool because even if it's like a heart attack, like it goes through these procedures and like gets you off on the road and puts you on the shoulder and it parks. I think that's all interesting and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it just makes more sense. Like if you think about you mentioned semis, but what about this? What about semis that had automatic driving? Like you could just put those shipments on and they just drive across.
Did they done that? Haven't they done that before?
They're already doing it right now, and that's the future for and that's why people are so worried. Is because truck drivers make up a serious proportion of our like economy, and all of a sudden all those people are obsolete.
Yeah,
because,
I was about to say.
I've seen Logan.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, I swear I just saw a movie about this recently.
Well, Logan did a really good job.
Logan did a really good job on a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a great film. But what I'm saying is like they did such a good job of like this is the near future. Like here's like the car dealer ladies vaping and like there's self-driving semis in the car. I'm like this is a good movie.
Yeah, God, it's a good movie.
Back to flying cars.
Oh yeah,
I don't want flying cars.
It's all related.
I don't want to drive a flying car. My main thing about it is I don't want to go back to driving school.
Sure.
I think we can all agree on that.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go back there again.
Well, it takes 65 hours for your pilot license.
So is it like a weird thing where it's like you have to get like a class? What do we all have? Class C license?
Here's the thing though. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I don't think if there's flying cars that they're gonna be self-controlled. Like, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be you type in your GPS where you want to go, and there's predetermined flight paths.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's no way in hell we're allowed to have self-controlled flying car kind of thing. It's gonna be you hop in your car and it just goes straight vertical, and then it enters in on the inner air highway or on the city, whatever. But no, because that would ruin flight patterns too. Because like, how do you designate certain airspace for planes that take off and go places? Do we need planes anymore?
Well, I've talked to actual like. My friend's getting his like piloting license.
Sure.
And what you do is, I know it's so bougie. I hate it. But like if you're going like to the right, you're like at like you'd be like 500 feet or like at some sort of like 100 feet where it's like something like 0, 0. Whereas if you're going like to the left, you are like at 550 feet.
Yeah.
That way there's like spatial distance. Between the two, that way you don't crash into each other.
Interesting.
No, when I originally asked this topic, I said, do you guys think we'll ever have flying cars like Futurama? Because it's like, I don't know, it's just like one of the social commentaries on it. It's like, you have flying cars, but in the opening, you still see them in traffic. And it's kind of funny about it. It's like, you can never avoid that. But you made an interesting idea where it's like, it's self-programmed flight patterns. But that messes up with all of our already established flight patterns. Like what's the height, what's the standard, like how does it work and all that, how many can be up there at a time. That's why I'm just like, it's too much. Too many people would have it. Yeah. And it's just like, we already have these like rolling death missiles that we have 16-year-old super hyped up kids going on.
Sure.
Now you want them flying? That's lliterally just a missile in my eyes.
You said that, and already in my social commentary, I'm already wondering, because people already complain that like, people like us love, what are they called? Ride-sharing services, right? We love the fact that we can go hobble into something and it takes us wherever we want to go. But, like, people complain that it's only benefiting people like us who can have disposable income, who can afford to, like, use these things. And we also have our car on this side. I bet all of us have cars, right? We all have our own cars, and we're just doing what we're responsible. People who physically can't afford either are still left without transportation. This isn't benefiting them. Public transportation still sucks. And we're doing like, yeah, it's great. I'll take the bus back home, but like, it's because we can afford to do so. People really complain that like, these aren't cheap enough. These monopolies like there's a cover fee of at least $5 just physically get in the car. Then once you go from there, it's like however much per mile. I think they're well priced. That's because we have disposable income.
Right.
So imagine the second you have flying cars and you said the words who gets airtime, who doesn't airtime. I'm already imagining the issues of like, yeah, people like, you know, we're like the cap of it, and then all of like the lawyers, doctors, people who can afford these things get to zip around the city and avoid the scum, right?
That reminds me of a
people...
sci-fi novel that I watched, actually, that I read.
I was gonna say,
you know, because I took a sci-fi class. I took a sci-fi class my senior year, and it was amazing. And we actually talked about this kind of stuff, and and there was just like one sci-fi novel that we talked about where like everyone gets flying cars and everyone gets teleportation, and only like the rich get teleportation. But then it becomes such a big thing, such an easy convenience, teleportation, that rich people start using planes to get to places because that's like a sign of wealth. Exactly. So what if like flying cars become so like, you know, it's
ground transportation, the self-driving car becomes
it's like that's like prestige,
bougie.
It becomes retro. Look at me, my car has wheels.
Exactly.
It's like that scene in iRobot where like everyone else is doing self-driving cars, have robots everything like that, and then like Will Smith gets on the motorcycle.
Right,
like,
exactly.
We're going on 2 wheels. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
What's gonna happen to parking garages if we have flying cars?
Oh, it'd be cool if like the different layers like lift up and you can just like fly in, sit down, sets back down. You see why this whole thing started with me saying only these 3 categories should have flying cars? You see how angry and how much thinking it's already going into, and it's like, who's gonna plan this all? It's all just gonna be like a small bunch of little things.
We got this.
Please leave it up to us, city planners. We got it.
If you donate to our Patreon,
let's all switch to civil engineering.
Great plug. Oh goodness.
All right, well, that's a great topic, Matt. I feel like we touched on some more, as always, some more deeper, like, philosophical things here. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure we'll come back to this the next time there's a new, like, SpaceX announcement. Like, I want next time there's a new space announcement or self-driving car, like, anything Elon Musk does, I feel like we'll talk about this again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I'm interested. Hey, guys, thanks as always for listening to the podcast. Be sure to check out the next part tomorrow here on the channel. As always, check out the description for important links, especially the one to our Patreon. Any money you can throw our way helps support our channel and lets us create great new content. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Have a great day.